Jon Laster is here, and we were talking during the break. Sylvia brought up, the Instagram has emerged a whole crop of comedians. I'm putting up air quotes. People who may have not been doing the work, but they have these little 1-minute skits that do really well, and they have millions of followers. How do you feel about that, John?
You know what's crazy? I don't want to knock the person who ended up with a bunch of followers and now is doing stand-up, because from a business model, the clubs are saying who can fill these seats. And if you can reach hundreds of thousands of people through your phone versus somebody who's really funny but nobody show up, what do it matter?
Right.
So, you know what I mean? I didn't want to be one of them people that's like, yo, they whack, we funny. I'm funny, but you know what? I can also move into where everything is moving, which is why, like I said, I started the campaign.
Okay, so let's follow him.
Yes.
He was funny. He might still be funny again. Right. He could be funny, but the handle is he was funny on Instagram. Funny. Let's get him 1 million followers.
Yes, please.
Why not?
Yo, you know what would help though is if everybody reposts the campaign thing, find two or three friends that'll do the same thing, then I would be able to step into a special and not be sitting around and complaining, because that's not gonna do nobody no good.
No. Yeah.
If I sit here on y'all show and be like, oh, let me tell you about this whack person, that's not. What are we doing with that?
And that'll block your blessing too.
Exactly.
Jon.
Yeah, and you don't have to tear people down to build yourself up.
I think
I'm here to build myself up, not tear people down.
I think you made a great point though, because I have one of my very, very close friends is a club owner, and so it dubs as a restaurant, but there's also a stage, and so he brings in comedians. He does like shows. The entertainment game has changed. People don't really understand that the way in which we used to fill places up, it doesn't happen the same way anymore. And so you have to be in all areas of industry. You have to anticipate when the crowd shifts to a different model and then utilize that model.
You got to be nimble.
So while you're talking, I'm thinking about him and thinking to myself, maybe it's no longer going to find promoters, right? Because remember, promoters used to fill clubs up. That was the job of the promoter. Now promoters are really operating solely from Instagram and from social media.
Right.
They're not on the streets. They're not passing out flyers anymore.
Right.
No,
Everybody who has time to print paper?
And
you fill them up with the Instagram.
And
folks.
after shows, one time I was on stage and I had a situation where I was up for a stand-up special, and the people told me, John, you're probably the funniest comedian maybe in comedy right now that's never had a special. But we got to give it to a guy that has more Instagram followers than you. The crowd went ballistic, and they was like, oh, how can we help you? We want to follow you. So I gave them my Instagram. They followed me, right? I didn't have my campaign video that's online now. So that was like the old school way of promoting. I was telling one person at a time. That's like handing out a flyer.
Yeah.
But then I decided, why don't I make this a video, ask people to put it on their page? That's the way things work now online.
Yeah.
Then you can reach tens of thousands of people that'll say, yo, we want to help this dude.
Right.
Versus me talking to each crowd every night.
Right.
You can't do that. Hand-to-hand combat is a thing of the past.
Yeah.
Everything is done online now.
So if you're not on Instagram, just use somebody's email address from AOL. Get an Instagram and follow. I was trolling myself today with my class. I had an AOL address that I've had for 20 years, and I said, it's classic.
Oh, yeah.
Children, it's classic. Don't you troll me.
It's
You're
like
going to use it.
A 212 cell phone number.
Hell yeah. It's a classic. Go ahead with that. And then follow Jon Laster at He Was Funny.
Please.
Let's do it. All right.